Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm showing you all a foundation routine, and this is my routine when I want my foundation to look extra flawless and to just last all day long. I'm showing you guys this routine with all drugstore makeup products. So these are my favorite drugstore makeup products to use when I want my foundation, like I said, to just be flawless and to just last. I like to use a face primer or a foundation primer just on my skin to help to fill in large pores, and I have a lot of acne scarring here around my mouth and chin. I like to use a primer to fill in those areas and to just help the foundation go on a lot more smooth. I don't normally use primers on an everyday basis just because whenever I'm in a hurry, I'm not really worried too much about it. But like I said, when I want my skin to look extra flawless, I love to use face primers. And one of my all-time favorite drugstore face primers is the Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser. I like to focus this in the areas where my pores are a little larger. So around my chin and also just around my cheeks and places like that. I just kind of press it like this into the skin just to get it into the pores. And I will take a little bit of it just up here on my forehead just to fill in any pores or lines up here. My go-to favorite drugstore foundation for a full coverage, flawless, long-lasting foundation is an oldie but a goodie, and it's the Revlon ColorStay foundation, and I use 220 Natural Beige. I need to go out and pick up a new one of these because now they make the Revlon ColorStay with a pump, so that's super exciting. The one that I have is just the one without the pump, and you have to just pour it out on the back of your hand. So I'm just using the flat side of my Real Technique sponge to blend this in, and I'm just bouncing the sponge up and down like this on my face, just pressing the foundation into the skin. I've mentioned this before, but you never want to swipe the brush or the sponge around. You just want to pat. And that will give you the most flawless, full coverage look to the foundation. I do find that it is best if you use a sponge like the Real Technique sponge or the Beauty Blender to apply this foundation. You can use a brush. You just want to make sure that you dampen the brush first before you apply this foundation. And you can see with one layer of that foundation, it is very full coverage and very flawless when you use a Beauty Blender sponge to blend the foundation in. And then I just turn the sponge over on the side whenever I go to blend in the foundation on my nose. And I also just pat the sponge up and down. Then for my under eye concealer and to just slightly highlight my face, I like to use this Maybelline Superstay Better Skin Concealer, and the shade that I have is in Light. I love this concealer. It's my favorite drugstore concealer of the moment right now. I also really like the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. That's also a great one, but I've been enjoying this concealer a lot more. It just does a good job of covering your dark under eye circles, and it does a good job of brightening, and it doesn't settle into any fine lines. So I just put this underneath my eyes kind of in a triangle sort of shape to just kind of highlight. As you can see, this shade isn't super highlighting on me. It's just slightly highlighting. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this concealer and just put it down the center of my face, on my nose. And then just a little bit here and a little bit here on my chin, and also a little bit right here on my forehead. And then I'm just going to go back with my Real Technique sponge, and I'm just going to pat this concealer in, and I'm just going to go back and forth like this. And whenever you blend your concealer in, whenever you pat back and forth like this, it helps to keep the concealer from settling into any fine lines that you might have around your eyes. And to set my under eye concealer, I like to go in with my NYX Highlight and Contour Pro palette. And I like to go in with this shade right here to set my under eye concealer and to also highlight that area. And I just find that if you use a powder, a really fine powder like this, it just helps to keep your concealer from creasing. You want to just pat this powder into the skin and just kind of go back and forth like you did with the Real Technique sponge when you went to blend the concealer out. You don't necessarily have to set this Revlon ColorStay with a powder because the foundation sets up pretty nice on its own. But when I want my foundation to like last and last all day, I do like to set it with a powder. And my favorite powder to use is the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Powder. And this is in the color Soft Ivory. You all know that this is my favorite face powder. It's like the only powder that I ever use. And I'm just going to use my e.l.f. Kabuki brush to just pat this powder into the skin. Once again, you're not like rubbing it around. You don't want to disturb the foundation. You just want to pat into the skin. And I also need to go in and clean up this foundation off of my lips because I look like I'm dead right now. Especially with this eyeshadow because it's so dark. Then I also figured I'd just show you guys how I go about like bronzing and contouring and like doing my blush and highlight. One of my favorite bronzers to use, especially in the summertime, is this Wet n Wild ColorIcon Bronzer in the shade Ticket to Brazil. This, as you can tell, like I love this thing to death. Like the lid just broke off of it and I've hit pan on this. But I really like this bronzer because it has a little bit of a sheen to it, so it just gives your skin like a really nice glow to it. If you're more on the fair side like me, this color is beautiful. And I'm just going to use my Real Techniques powder brush to blend this bronzer into the skin. And I'm just going to buff it into the skin with circular motions. And I'm going to put this in the areas where the sun would naturally bronze up my face. So kind of like in the hollows of my cheeks and just like around my temples and just kind of like on the outer perimeter of my face and also a little bit on my nose as well. Then for my contour, I'm just going to go back with my NYX Highlight and Contour Pro palette. And I'm going to use this shade right here for my contour. And I'm going to go in with my mini NARS Ita brush. Get a little bit. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to use this brush today. I'm going to use my Real Techniques contour brush. So let me get that. That brush is over there. And I lied. This is actually the Real Techniques sculpting brush. But I'm just going to get a little bit of this contour on this brush. Knock off the excess. And I'm just going to put this here in the hollowed out areas of my cheeks just to contour a little bit. And this is just going to help to like slim down your face a little bit and just give your cheekbones like more of a definition. For my blush today, I'm going to use this Wet n Wild ColorIcon blush in the shade Rose Champagne. This is such a beautiful everyday blush color. I just think it is so pretty. And I'm going to use my Sigma large angle contour brush and I'm just going to apply this blush to the apples of my cheeks and just blend it back towards my temples. For my highlight, I'm going to go in with this e.l.f. Baked Highlighter in the color Moonlit Pearls. And I'm just going to lightly dust this on my cheekbones just to give a little bit of a highlight. And then I'm also going to take a little bit of this down the center of my face. So I went ahead and finished the rest of my makeup, like I finished my eye makeup and put my lipstick on and everything. If you'd like to see a tutorial on this eyeshadow, I will leave that video down in the description box. Not sure if this video is going to be up before that tutorial, but whichever or once it's up, I will have it linked down below. But the last thing that I do when I want my foundation to last and last all day long, I like to set it with a makeup setting spray. And my favorite drugstore makeup setting spray is the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set. So I'm just going to mist this product all over my face. And I feel like this product is a must in the summer months, especially when it's really hot and humid out. It really helps to keep your foundation like locked in and lasting all day long. I know it's been a while since I've done like a foundation routine like where I break everything down and just explain everything that I'm doing for you guys. But I thought this would be a great routine to show you guys, especially since it's summertime and you want your foundation to last. especially when it's hot and humid out. So yeah, I hope that you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up or let me know down in the comments. I hope that you all have an awesome day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.